And we know listeners of this show are really just people who are alive at this time. Have seen the We Need Diverse Books movement. They were aware that we had an absolute lack of representation historically, and that hopefully we're starting to see the tide turn a bit on that now. But you have the experience of you're here in the States and then sometimes you're back in Korea. So
Mhm.
you know that this is all just this is how things are here, not everywhere. Does that make a difference for you? Does that make it a little bit easier, a little bit harder?
It is different. Um, so I moved to the States when I was 3, and I lived here until I was in 8th grade, actually. And then in 8th grade, my family moved back to Korea. So I attended international school in Korea. Um, and it was a culture shock because not because I didn't know Korean, it was a culture shock because here I, I was a minority. And then when I moved to Korea, I'm like, oh, everyone is like me. I'm part of the majority. And to just see how um, my opinions mattered, how I was treated, it was different, you know, as opposed to like when you face racism in the States, it's I think having that experience in Korea where I'm part of the majority, now looking back on it as an adult and I'm here, I'm like, why? Why are you treating me that way? Like, why are we any different? You know, it seems it's because I think part of it is because I've seen what it could be and how I should be treated. And then when I'm here, it's, of course, it's not always like that. There's those moments where I'm just like, oh, but yeah, it's definitely different. And I think for me, I draw that as a strength because I see what that like it's not okay. This is what it should be. Yeah, so for me, I see it as a strength, and um, I really appreciate that my parents took me back to Korea, even though at that time it was like the worst thing ever. Like for an 8th grader who has all their friends in the States to like all of a sudden their family, like, you're gonna move to Korea. And there's no like email or phone or anything, but then it's like writing letters to your friends in the States. I mean, you can't really keep that up for very long. So it was a bit of an adjustment, but in hindsight, it was a great experience, and I thank them for that.